Well, hello and welcome back to GearHeadGeeks, where in this video I'm going to show you how to surface a cylinder head and a cylinder on a motorcycle with just nothing more than a piece of glass, a piece of sandpaper, some tape, and a little WD-40. So let's get right to that. So when you're going to go and rebuild an engine and you're getting ready to put everything back together, you've honed the cylinder and you're really pretty much close to putting it back together, you want to make sure that your head isn't going to leak. I mean, and it's really easy to warp a head. Somebody can over tighten the bolts, all sorts of things. They warp, and there is an easy way to fix it. Here we have the head off of an F11M. This is a 1974 very rare engine. They only made 200 of them, but the cylinder head, as you can see, is a little rough. It's got some carbon in here, but this cylinder mating surface here is looking a bit rough these days. It's not bad, but it needs to be surfaced up. I'm going to leave this dirty in here so you can see the contrast of from when we start and when we're done. Here is the cylinder, and the cylinder again is in perfect shape, but look at this surface here. It's just kind of rough. It just happens that way. So we're going to show you exactly how to bring this back to life and make them perfect, and you can do this for really cheap. So let me explain. So what you really need to surface a head or a cylinder is a flat surface and some sort of sandpaper. Okay, here's some 150 grit, you can read that, 150 grit emery paper. I like 150 because it gives you a smooth surface, but you're not working forever trying to get it to get the surface sanded down. So the next thing you need is a piece of glass. Well, that can be problematic sometimes. Finding a piece of glass that's thick enough and is going to not break on you, be durable enough so you can use it. I've had different pieces of glass that have broken or whatever. But the other day, my wife was throwing out a glass cutting board, and it was a textured thing, and I thought, wait a minute, what if I were to flip it over? And lo and behold, this is it. This is 16 inches by 20, which is a pretty good size when you think about it. This side is textured. It's kind of like a leathery texture, kind of a heavy leathery texture. And you could use this, but this is not the side you want. The other side is dead smooth. It is dead smooth and nice. This is tempered, so it's not going to break. The edges are sanded over. They're made to be used, you know, so you can touch it. You're not going to get cut up, and you can stow it away. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our piece of sandpaper on here and get this cookie working. Okay, so now I've taken this piece of glass and I'm just putting it on my flat surface. You could put some feeties underneath it, but if you do use feet, you got to do all four corners and make sure you support the middle so it doesn't bow on you. I'm just laying this flat down. The second thing you need to do is take a piece of sandpaper and lay it down. Now, there's a couple methodologies that you could do. We could take and use some sort of spray-on glue, which works quite well. Or you can tape down the corners with some masking tape, and that works quite well. The one thing that you do want to do is go on ahead and clean up your glass surface. Now, that does two things. It not only makes sure there's no pieces of crud on it that can cause you a problem, but it also makes it so that you can use tapes and stuff on it with that, so it's so the tape sticks really, really well. And I think we'll do it. The first thing we'll do is we'll just take some masking tape and we'll do it that way. So we're just going to lay this guy down here. Won't be too much issue. Okay, a little bit of masking tape. This is just some 3/4 inch. And we're just going to lay down a corner here, pull it fairly tight, lay down another corner here, pull it fairly tight, keep it flat, make sure it stays flat, and we'll do another corner here, and our last corner, obviously. Okay, so now we've got this guy laid down, and what can we do? Well, this is emery cloth, and I found that this particular emery cloth does not like water or water soluble. So it doesn't mind oil, but it doesn't like water or water solubles. Some plain old WD-40, and this is what we're going to use. So now what we're going to do here is we've got our head. As you can see, it's dirty in here. We'll leave it dirty, but we want to get this surface beautiful. So what do? So the first thing you do, take a little bit of WD-40 and just lube down and of course this WD-40 is not going to cooperate, lost its pressure or done something. Let me go get another one. Always something. And all right, this is good enough. We're getting some out of this anyway. A little bit of WD-40. All right, and now what we're going to do, let me get everything out of the way so you can make sure you can see, is we're just going to take the cylinder head and I'm going to lay it down on here and I'm going to gently work it back and forth. And this 150's got some pretty good grit to it, but it leaves a good surface. I am not applying hardly any downward pressure. I'm just kind of moving it back and forth and making sure it stays flat. Okay, so now let's take a look and see what it's done so far. And look, as we look around this, you can see that it's caught here. So this is where the bolt's been tightened. Here's where a bolt's been tightened. As you can see, where all the bolts have been tightened and torqued down. But look inside here. It hasn't even touched it yet. It is still completely unscathed by this. So what you do, just keep on working. Now, if you push too hard, the sandpaper will break loose. You don't want to do that. So I'm kind of holding on to the sandpaper here, and I'm just working this back and forth. And you have to be a little patient. You can twist, you can work it back and forth. It doesn't matter what direction you go. It really makes no difference. You can go around in circles, which is probably the best. You're probably going to get the best cut out of it. The WD-40 stops it from clogging up the paper, which is really nice. And you can see the paper's got its stuff on it. So let's take another look and see how we're doing. And as you can see, it's starting to work its way in. We're almost there. I'm starting to see a few little marks going on in there. And it's very even, where it's just taking it down very evenly. And you can do this over and over. And I guess, let's just say the circular motions are the best. And we're almost there. I'm going to give this just a little more time. This is real time. All right, so let's wipe it off. And as you can see, look what's happened. We've almost got it. There's still a little more in here, but it's even all the way around. And you can see this area here still needs a little bit more, but we really haven't done very much. I'm going to put a little more WD-40 on there if I can get any out of this thing. WD-40 is great stuff, but they're cans and whatnot. And yes, I squirt them back with air and get them going again for a while, but it still shouldn't run out that quickly. The good part about WD-40 is it doesn't stink. Okay, and let me just one more shot. And hopefully this will be the whole thing for this. And we are almost there. Look, okay, we got just a tiny bit in here, and this was it. This was a fairly bad area, but as you can see, it's working all the way around. There's a little bit in here. One more shot, and I think we'll be ready to go. All right, let's take another look. And that is all we needed. As you can see, it's just about perfect. There's a little ring around in here. There's a little tiny little nick in there, but we're not going to go all the way through that. But we've got a nice surface all the way around. There's a couple little tiny spots in there that won't cause it not to seal. All right, so the head came out beautiful. So now, see if I can get this guy to squirt a little more. Yeah, we got some coming out. We're going to do the cylinder. Okay, so here's our cylinder. As you can see, it's a little hokey in there. You can see there's areas in here. So let's see what it looks like initially and find out if how badly it's worked. Okay, and it's a little heavier. So again, I'm not using any pressure. I'm just kind of guiding it over the top. And that's it. You kind of need to move this one straighter. And the idea here is not to push so hard that you crinkle up your paper, because it can crinkle up, especially if you're using paper. I like the emery cloth because it does a good job of holding up pretty well. Okay, so let's take a look here and see what we got. And as you can see, this surface here is done. All the way around here is done. It's hit it just ever so slightly here. This is pretty good. This is pretty good, but there's still these areas in here. The cylinder is not as bad as the head was because there's more metal, so it doesn't want to warp as easy. So again, holding on to our paper, and we're just going to work it back and forth. And again, I'm not pushing down on this, I'm just using the weight of the cylinder. And wipe it off again. And you can see we're making really good progress in a very, very short amount of time. So what do we have here? We're seeing that the liner itself is completely resurfaced. There's just a little bit left right in here in the area close to the cylinder, to the liner, that needs a little more work. And again, we'll just lube this guy up. Without the lubrication, it's almost impossible, so you really have to have the lube. Now what I'm doing here is, when I pull, I'm taking out the pressure, and when I push, I've got my hand here holding the paper, and I can put a little pressure on it. kind of like when you're doing a hacksaw, you know, when you push, you give it, you push in, and then when you pull, you just do it lightly. Okay, and we're doing this a little bit at a time, you know, for the sake of the video here, and so that you can see the progress. I mean, normally I would just keep on going till it's done, but I want you to see what's happening. This is beautiful in here. This is all getting really, really nice. There's really a surface happening across all of this, but you can still see there's little low spots in there, and we need to get through those. And let's face it, tape does not stick all that well to sandpaper. It'd be nice to say it did, but it doesn't, so I'm going to go back, and that was kind of coming loose, and probably some stickier masking tape would probably be in order. And we just keep right on going now. Okay, let's take another look at it. And we are almost done. We've got a really good surface. There's just a little bit left in here, and it's I don't know if the camera picks it up, but it's actually taking, you can see where there's little sand marks in there, which means you're almost all the way through. This is all perfect. This is perfect in here. Just a little bit on the sides. One more time. The good part about the tempered glass is you can set this down without breaking it. Regular glass has a tendency to, you can break it fairly easily. And there you have it. It's surfaced off pretty well. These are just stains more than anything. But we have a clean surface all the way around here. It's all flat, and that is a nicely surfaced cylinder and will work just fine. I mean, I could keep on working at it and get those stains out, but it's just not worth it. And for the sake of this demonstration, it's not worth it. So, what have we done here? We have used nothing more than a piece of sandpaper and this piece of glass cutting board. I looked on Amazon and they were like $15 for one this size. This is a good thing to have, and the reason this is such a good thing to have is now what I can do is I'll just take this and dab off of this, and I can take this thing, pick it up, and put it away. it's out of the way. It's underneath my bench. And let me pull that back out. I can put it away. I just take it out, put it underneath my bench, and we're good to go. So that's all you need to be able to resurface a head. Just a plain old piece of glass. And if you have regular glass, any piece of glass will work. A nice big thick piece of glass would be great, but this tempered cutting board stuff, dynamite. This works really, really well, and you can put it away, and it's just, it's you know, it's so, you can handle it without chopping yourself up. It works really, really well. Again, look at the result. We got a perfectly flat cylinder head ready to go back on. Well, this thing needs a little bit more tender loving care, but as you can see, it's basically ready to go as far as this surface is concerned. And also our cylinder, same way. We got a nice clean cylinder in there where the surface is all ready to go. After this is all cleaned up and painted and all this stuff, and we can put this engine back together in another video, but that gives you an idea how this works. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did enjoy this kind of content where we're teaching you how to do stuff or whatever when it comes to motorcycles, please hit the subscribe button down below, and we will see you next time with our next project.